Hello, Raw Food Rehab. It is Sunday of week 9 of our Raw Food Rehab experiment, and that means as of tomorrow, we have 14 days left to make this research project count. And there's a lot, but one of the things that I really want to talk about is, and I'm looking at the original outline that I sent to the publishing company as to what I saw that I might be able to contribute to the book that they're wanting. And so the title of the book is, this was not my idea, by the way, but this is the title they chose, The Raw Food Cleanse. And then what I added is Real Food for Real People, Restore Health and Lose Weight by Eating Delicious All-Natural Foods instead of starving yourself. So if you'll notice, I say restore health and lose weight. From my perspective, Raw Food Rehab is not just about losing weight. And I know a lot of you guys are rocking the weight loss. Like Dennis, hello, 55 pounds right now. You said 54.9. That's 55 on my scale. Andrea, 27 pounds, and that crazy redhead, which I'm a little partial to the redheads. She and Jen Hop are getting ready to start a juice feast this coming Tuesday, and then her birthday is on the 12th, and so she wants to go into her 38th year, at least with a 30-pound weight loss, which is just amazing. I think it's awesome. Weight loss is awesome, and most of us who are here are looking for weight loss, but there are a lot more important things ultimately, and I've talked a lot about Victoria Butenko's Green for Life. Again, if you don't have the book, I think it belongs in all of our libraries. But, in her research project that she did, she asked her participants some questions, and these will be some questions, similar questions that I'm going to be asking you, and I'm actually going to send those out probably Tuesday or Wednesday, as we're really, maybe in the last 10 days. They're questions that I want you to consider. And weight loss is only one of the questions. But some of her questions are, did the rest of your diet change as a result of drinking green smoothies? Obviously, that's not going to be a question I'm going to ask. Did you notice any significant or new changes in your health? Did your cravings for unhealthy foods lessen or increase? Have you noticed any change in your weight? Did your sleep patterns change? How did your elimination change? Did you notice any change in your energy level? Did anyone comment that you looked differently? Did you have any symptoms of detox? Did you have any negative symptoms? And do you plan to continue? Well, in her case, it was the green smoothies every day, but in our case, do you plan to continue to incorporate a higher percentage of raw foods into your diet? This is the kind of research that I'm looking for. I don't care so much about did you lose weight. In this book, I would say that, a lot of people did lose from maybe 1 to 10 pounds, but there was probably half the people didn't lose weight, or not any real significant number of weight, but maybe their blood pressure went down considerably. Maybe their cholesterol count came down. Perhaps their years of being troubled with insomnia changed. People who suffered from chronic constipation were now having 1 to 3 bowel movements a day. I mean, that is restoring your health. If you're having any of those kinds of changes, those are things I want to know about. Those are things that I want to represent in this book, not just, Joe Blow lost 25 pounds. That reminds me, Bill Hoppe, you've lost 25 pounds, and Katie, you've lost 22 pounds. Unbelievable. But, people like to hear a weight loss story. I mean, Amy Kay talked about this on her video yesterday about how this friend of hers, this longtime friend of hers, has dropped all this weight, and she's all buff because she's doing an Atkins-type diet, and she's running. And I was telling my husband about it, and he's like, well, I got news for you. Most people that run are really hardcore runners, kind of eat whatever they want, and it's the same thing that Tim Van Orden teaches. There's a difference between being physically fit and actually having true true health. There's a difference. I mean, we're such a visual society. I mean, we look at everything as how it looks on the outside. But you and I know that there is a more profound change, most likely, since you've changed your diet. Since you've changed your diet, it's begun to change your thinking. And when your thinking begins to change, that's when the real magic happens. Some of you guys go to church, some of you don't, whatever. But even if you've ever been to a church service, or maybe you've been to listen to a motivational speaker, like I had the opportunity to get to hear Dr. Wayne Dyer speak several years ago. And so in a situation like that, when you are in an audience and you're being lectured to by your clergy or a positive speaker, have you ever been sitting there and you go, he must be reading my mail, because this is like totally geared to me? And that's how today's message was. And so I wrote some things down, and obviously this was in relationship to our Christian faith, and that's what he was talking about, but I just wrote some notes down that I thought might be really helpful for you. When life gets hard, or we feel like we're a failure, or that we just, really are not being very effective in what we are setting our hearts and minds to do, we have a tendency to hide, to feel shame, or to withdraw. It is the very time that we need to press in, gain support, encouragement, and renew our minds. And so that's what I think has happened to a lot of the members that joined Raw Food Rehab in the beginning, is they feel like maybe they haven't been that successful, maybe they haven't given it the place in their lives that they had originally intended to, and so their numbers aren't what they'd like to be showing, and so therefore they don't log in out of maybe guilt, shame. Not everybody, but some people have done that. And so what I want to say is, now is the time to press in. There's so much positive reinforcement on this website. I mean, it's not just for me. I get on here today, and I mean, Kiwi's like blasting a positive message, and Susan's always on there with a thought for the day. I mean, we have a lot of people who are sharing really uplifting information that is going to inspire and encourage you. And some other things I wrote down is set your mind on staying connected to the source of help and inspiration. We have to make room in our lives. We have to have open hearts and open minds. When we start shutting down and closing the door, we certainly aren't going to have any kind of success if we basically are unplugging. And this was, obviously being talked about is to stay plugged into God, but the same thing is true in our Raw Food Rehab unit. It's like, we're here to support you and help you. And yes, I'm writing a book, and yes, I'm getting research, but it's become so much more than just that. I mean, this has become a Raw Food family, and our hearts and our arms and minds are open to you. We want to help you. We want to encourage you, and I don't want you to give up. So if you are planning, if you're watching this and you're part of our site and you're planning on leaving, I'm not saying all this to make you feel bad. I just want you to know how much I want you to stay. And very, very significant things can happen to you in 2 weeks. I mean, when I first went raw 4 years ago, and I went 100% raw overnight, within 1 week, I had lost every single symptom of a lifelong battle with irritable bowel syndrome. I had no more bloating, cramping, swelling, diarrhea, constipation, flatulence, I mean, you name it, I had it. And within 1 week, I was symptom-free. That was 7 days, okay? Within 3 weeks, I had lost over 15 pounds. So that was about 5 pounds a week. So in 10 days, or in 14 days, you could begin to totally reverse your health. So if you haven't been very serious about this experiment, now's a great time. If you want to finish strong with us, get in here, get plugged in, and stay the course. And stop